Hello and welcome to Mystic Melodies Tune In Tuesday. I'm LaFlamme. Today's show is going to be focused around intuitive composition and getting a better understanding. I'm going to share some of my techniques with you, how to get musically inspired through intuitive understanding inner and higher self, as well as utilizing universe in the process. So last week's show, I covered a bunch of techniques in regards to musical breakthroughs. So if you haven't seen that one, I would go check it out. But today I'm going to tap into one of those elements a little bit further in, and that's that intuitive side when we're working on original compositions. Some of these are great for beginners if you haven't really done a whole lot of composition, and then some of the other techniques are for those that are a little bit more advanced and have, some experience in songwriting. So let's dig right in. First and foremost is getting that space where we want to be in the present now. And I touched on that a bit before, but this is always something that I encourage everyone to do. And that kind of starts with getting that creative space. So if you're inside and you already have a creative space, or maybe not, it's just finding that cozy, comfy spot, maybe lighting a candle, tuning out the noise, just getting really focused in the present moment and not letting things of life and worry and crazy whatnot get in your way of just going whoo and taking this time, right, to find that ever-present now feeling. And another wonderful way to start that out is choose a different location. If you're able to go into your garden, maybe go to the park, maybe you can bring your instrument with you. And enjoy nature, right? And just feel that wonderful breeze and the smells and just that energetic frequency of nature that is always very inspiring, right? So that's kind of where I'm in the first phase. There's like location and being in the present now. The next thing that I think is just perfect for anybody, no matter where they're, starting out in their composition journey, and really wanting to dig deeper into themselves, is what I call improv play or free play. And this is where you literally just go to your instrument and play whatever comes to mind. And nothing is right and nothing is wrong. You're just going to listen to the sounds, listen to the tones, and play. You can just play anything that you want. It can be heavy, you can hold the pedal, anything like that, right? And some people, it's going to sound strange, but in that, you're going to hear a couple of notes. Something's going to give you that tingle, and that can be the beginning place in which you can start a song. So if you do this consistently, you're going to find that something is going to pop out. You're going to tap in, you're going to, like I said, you're going to feel that tingle. You're going to be like, ooh, these few notes feel like something. They're inspiring an idea, right? Something along that lines, which this is a great exercise. I do this with my students every week, dozens of students, where they sit at the piano and they play anything that comes to mind, and we decide what the feeling was, what notes did they discover, what were some of the undertones and overlays, what images might have come to mind, and then we jot it down and we keep track of it and begin to understand where our intuitive inner knowing is prompted to begin to compose a piece. And this rolls right into what I also find extremely helpful is when we use imagery, right? Sometimes when you sit down, maybe you have a beautiful piece of artwork, like our gallery has many, and you gaze on that favorite piece, or maybe a sculpture, and you really see it in a different way, a different light, a different angle, and you just become open, right? And wanting to get that intuitive sense, step into that creative inspiration, that realm, that energy, right? Maybe you can think about a story and just making it up in your mind, taking in a journey somewhere beautiful. Maybe you can think of, flowers or weather or the sun or loved ones or friends, anything that gets you out of the world into the now and able to connect with your intuition, your inner and higher self, so you can really partner up with universe on your creative mojo, right? Something that I find incredibly awesome is sometimes artists carry their emotions, their memories from their dreams each night, and they wrap it and roll it into their compositions that they're working on. Now this is something a little bit more advanced. A lot of folks don't have vivid lucid dreams or deep dreams that feel like a whole nother day. But if you're one of those types like myself, oftentimes the next day I'm still seeing the images and the stories running through, and especially the feelings, and I'll carry those throughout the day. And one of the most wonderful ways to utilize the dreams each evening is to throw them down into some composition and really tap into what is source, what is your inner self, your intuition speaking to you in regards to what the music is supposed to come out as, right? And so you can really connect those. So I love that. The last one is intuitive timing. And this happens to me a lot, but this is just because I've done work, I do a lot of meditation daily. I do, a lot of spiritual work, breath work, and of course practice, compose, teach, all that kind of stuff. So I've gotten really used to tapping in to all of a sudden, and some of you may experience this, like all of a sudden you get this feeling that universe is poking at you and saying, hey, it's time to get to your instrument, or it's time to get to your notepad. I have something for you. I have a gift for you. I'm going to give you a melody, or I'm going to give you words. I'm going to give you just like a divine thought, a gift, right? That's kind of what I really feel it like it is, and I'll literally just stop whatever I'm doing and be like, oh, I've got to go do this. And lo and behold, if I pause and listen quietly and I listen, like I said, it'll just come, and universe is like, boom, here it is, and it just comes out. It's amazing. So really understanding that, so you're in the world, but you can hear and feel when you're being prompted, right, to act on that and taking advantage of that gift and really jumping to your instrument, like I said, or your poem book or whatnot, and really tapping into that. So that's something I would encourage you, if you haven't had a lot of those experiences, really just begin to be open to receiving those creative inspirations, right? And those creative ideas. So those are some of the techniques that I utilize, in my compositions. I'm going to be sharing some of those, some new ones that I've gotten universal source inspiration from, which I'm excited to do. But so yeah, that's just a few ways. So thank you for watching. If you are interested in learning more about intuitive composition, you can definitely hit up my website. That's AliciaLaFlamme.com. You can also watch these videos on Rumble, and my handle is Fire with N. That's Fire with in a capital N. So certainly go check out those other videos. That would be great. And again, thanks for tuning in. Please like, follow, share. That would be awesome. And lastly, I would love to hear your thoughts, any pieces you're working on, some of your creative process with intuitive composition. I would certainly enjoy that. So thanks again. I'll see you next Tuesday.